This is really exciting for me. We have the ladies of Barlow, at least two of the three ladies of Barlow Girl on with us. Oh my goodness, we have Melissa and Lauren. Becca is not with us today, and so we're going to get into all that. But man, look how young we all look. It's amazing, right? See? Betty laughs and they go, I know.
They're just being nice. That's
it has
sweet.
been more than a minute since we got a chance to chat. Man, in years, like probably 10 years. Since you guys were doing stuff. Here's what happened, okay? So this guy emailed me. He's like, hey, whatever happened to Barlow Girl? And I said, I don't know. I lost touch with them. And so then it sent us down this rabbit hole. We had people speculating about what could have happened to you.
People speculating. It was Wally. All he was doing was speculating, making up rumors.
Okay, so if you start getting rumors, that was me. That was my fault.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're like, okay, I call your dad. I'm like, can the girls talk? And I couldn't believe his phone number still worked. I couldn't believe he took my call. And
You
so
were surprised too.
I know. So here we are. So we have so much to catch up on. And, you remember Zach, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he used to work with us. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He's in a better place now. And so, he works upstairs. Sorry.
You freaked me out. All right. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might have been 10 years.
Wally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure, it's been 10 years, but I'm still the same. So Zach's not here anymore. Do you remember the last thing we did with you guys and Zach that involved a bat?
Was this like a baseball bat?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. You guys were smacking Zach with a bat to determine which of your songs we would play.
Why? Yes.
It's a vague memory. How do you remember that?
All I remember is Wally and a baseball bat
Yeah.
and Zach. And I'm like, is this a nightmare? Was
Yes.
this a dream?
You guys were so sweet. You're like, I don't want to do. I don't. And then I think it was Alyssa that finally was like, I'm gonna kill him, and just got into it. He has brain damage. It was a thing. And so
that's why he's no longer with you
Is that
guys.
why he's not with us?
Well, you know what's really funny is he had left a show he was working on to come work for me, and this was his first week, and they emailed him right after that, and they're like, we would never hit you with a bat. Come back. But fortunately, he decided not to and stayed with us. So, I mean, that was the last time that, you and I had hung out. So what has been going on with you guys? I need the details, the update on both of your lives, okay?
What was the speculation? What was your guess?
Oh yeah.
The biggest thing, and I hate to bring this up, the biggest thing is who's married, who isn't married, because that was a platform you guys were in, and it was a big thing for you of obviously waiting till marriage, and then you didn't get married young, and there's just nothing on it on socials. You guys just evaporated. So who got married and who didn't?
Okay. So Becca got married.
Becca is married.
We are not married.
Okay.
So that's the official.
No.
That's the official statement.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Becca is married. Now, she's not here with us.
No, Becca actually lives in California with her husband.
Yes.
And she likes working on cars. Becca always did mechanics and stuff.
I remember talking to her about that. I have to ask you, okay, so you guys aren't married. I have to ask you this. How old are you now? I've lost track of time. Because you guys don't look, in all seriousness, you do not look any older than the last time we talked. It was crazy.
It's the Botox.
It's the Botox.
Just kidding. We're kidding.
I'm going to go get some because I could use a little jab.
There's some things
It's not
Botox
our
can
thing.
We found a fountain of life in our in a
fountain of
yard
youth.
in a forest.
Okay, so I'm 35.
Okay.
And I'm 29.
Okay, yes. Betty Rocket.
Benjamin buttoning it.
Yeah. Well, Betty just turned 36.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm 36, and I've been with Wally for 15 years now. So I
Yeah.
started out young. I don't know. I guess God's going to give me a big crown in heaven. But
Right.
still at 36, it's understandable that people in the Bible Belt or in church are going to say, at 36, what's wrong with you? You should be married by now. You must have your standards up too high.
Because Betty's single. That's why she's saying
and
this.
It's really to me, it's just I want to be impressed by someone, and I have yet to be impressed. I don't know.
Right.
Totally.
No, I completely get it. I think for us, especially starting out as teenagers and kind of looking around at the whole recreational dating scene, I was just like, that's just, and in Barlow Girl, that was part of our story. We just were kind of that's just not for us.
Right.
We weren't really into the whole, I want to date around. We wanted to know. So often as women, it's so easy to just dive into the dating scene and then get your identity and everything wrapped up in that, and to only know you're beautiful in the context of a relationship when a boy tells me. And so, you know, we gave that up, and then
or to know you're loved if someone loves you, and to think you're accepted only if someone accepts you.
And we just kind of felt this challenge even from God of just being like, hey, like as women, what would it look like to have our identity in him first? And so then, you know, kind of coming out of Barlow Girl, it was one of those things, we've kind of been on this different path of pursuing other things. And right now, just being with someone and being married, just, it wasn't a choice I wanted to make yet. And it is something that I do want, but not now. And I think the other thing is too, is breaking out of that mindset that goes, well, if you're 20, you have to be married.
Right.
Well, who said?
Right.
You know,
who made up that rule?
Where did that rule come from?
Well, and here's the thing I want to be really upfront about too, is that like I'm asking you about being married because I find it interesting because I just don't know, but it's not like, oh, this is what defines you, and so I hope you don't take it that way.
Not at all.
Okay, that I led with that, but I was just curious.
No, we totally get it. I mean, everybody asks that question, you know, because you're right. Like at this age, like, why aren't you married? What's wrong with you? Something must be inherently wrong with you.
Afraid of men?
And it's like, no, that's not how this works.
I just think we just had other things we wanted to pursue right now, and there just wasn't. I don't know. We just haven't really felt that. Kind of like you said, I haven't really met anyone that I've been like, hey, I want to do this next part of my journey partnering with you, because marriage is a beautiful thing. And you know, God bringing people, I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
But
and
I
love it, and I
love
honor
being
it.
single. Like I love being single. I love the journey of it, and it's like I really enjoy it.
I think each person, I always feel like God just puts on different people, each person's heart, like what their story looks like. And I think the exciting thing for us is just meeting people that get married super young, people that get married in their 40s and 50s. And I look at it and go, God has a beautiful journey for everyone.
I think people that have like a really great marriage, sometimes like people that are single look at them and go, oh, I want that, you know, and I'd love to have that. I'd aspire to that. But then you got people that are married that look at you guys talking about being single and, boy, I'd like that. Don't tell my wife.
Totally.
Right?
It's
true.
Let's dive into some of the music stuff with the ladies of Barlow here. At what point, or was there a point that you realized that music in its current form is kind of run its course for us? And did you have that realization at the same time?
Yeah, it's crazy. We never shared this story. We just kind of
like, bye.
Yeah, that was it. Peace out.
It was abrupt.
It was a really cool journey for us in that, just because the way we entered Barlow Girl, for us, it was very God-led. It was very much of just going, whatever you want, whatever you want this to look like, whatever you want this to be, we'll do it. Yeah. And so that was always our prayer of like, God, it's whatever you want. It's however you want to lead. And so then, what was it? 8 years into it, 10 years into it, of us being signed, it was like the shifting started happening in the three of us girls. Yeah,
it was just in the final year of Barlow Girl.
And it was kind of going, it was almost like this tugging at each of our hearts of going, there's something more.
Really?
And I don't know what that means. We didn't know what that meant, but it was God being like, maybe the chapter of Barlow Girl, maybe you came to say what you needed to say. And maybe there's a shift into a new chapter. And I think sometimes we get so scared because like, no, but it's working. Like, we're still signed. You know, we had a beautiful relationship with our label, with everybody. It wasn't like there was any tension. There was no fight. There was nothing. It was just this leading into the unknown. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's really, and it happened to the three of us at the same time.
See, that's the big thing. I've seen this happen with bands before where one person is like, I really feel like God's calling me away. And then the other four are like, I don't feel that. I don't feel that at all. I feel God telling me to stay here and make 8 more albums so I can make my house payment.
Right?
And so if you're siblings, that's even worse. Like if one of you is like, I'm just done.
Right. No, it was us collectively coming together because we were praying about making a new album. We were trying to write new songs. we were like transitioning all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden in that transition to make a new album was almost a transition of the heart of God going, do you still trust me? Do you still trust me leading and guiding you in this? And what if you've let it go?
Oh,
it was terrifying.
It was terrifying.
Because you're young, and then this is how you've made a living. And like you guys, did you do anything else? Did you go to college? Did you do anything else before doing the band?
I went to college for 2.5 years for music.
Okay.
Becca went to college, I think, for the same 2.5 years.
I signed up for college.
And then she got
a girl.
Then I got sucked. I had good intentions.
Yeah, so but that has to be scary. You're like, okay, well, God, what am I supposed to do? You know?
Well, especially because for Lauren, essentially, like,
my first job.
Barlow Girl was her first job.
Right.
Other than babysitting, right? Like, that's what I did.
So it was interesting because we had been working as Barlow Girl since I think I was 16 when we started.
I was 13.
And then all of a sudden I'm 29 and God's going, hey, what if you open your hands? And what if you give me this and trust that there are seasons to life and there are chapters to life? And what if you make the next step and make the next leap? And, you know, our little brain's going, what is it? It better be good. And I like, it better happen. But it was so weird. Like, even like being home after like 10 years of touring, like I honestly think it took about 1.5 years for me to stop keeping suitcases on my floor with all my clothes in it. Like, it was weird to put my clothes in drawers. Like, it was weird. All of a sudden,
it was weird.
Like, I know it's weird, but I always kind of compared it to like the movie Narnia or the book Narnia. Like, one moment you're somewhere, the next you're somewhere else, and then all of a sudden you're back. Like, it's a weird, it was so surreal.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, too, it was this interesting transition. I remember just being like terrified and just being like, well, what is this unto? What you got it, you know, so often we're like, God, you got to promise me that it's going to be better if I'm going to give this up. And then I remember one day he's like, you've been on stage for 10 years singing that I'm more than enough.
Yeah, so when does that sink in? Yeah, and when do you take your own advice kind of thing? Yeah.
Exactly. You've been singing it. Do you want to live it?
That's terrifying. So what happened? Like, what was your next gig after Barlow Girl then? Before we get to where you're at now, like, what was the next in-between thing?
We really felt, well, what we felt was that we would have a 6-month break and
we would come back.
And then we'd come back and relaunch into music.
Yeah.
And that was 8 years ago.
Wow. Do you miss it? Do you think, okay, we really missed an opportunity there and we should have done this? Or are you like, no, I'm good?
No, I feel I'm so proud of the choice that we made of being able, like having the courage to do it, having the courage to say, what we had in Barlow Girl was stuff that people wait their whole life for, right? Like that platform and that ability to speak into people's lives, and then God going, will you come back and be with me in like a secret place, like a quiet place with me, and being able to just step back and him reworking identity and him reworking what intimacy with him looks like and just the whole thing. And so I don't feel like we missed anything, but for the first time in 8 years, Liz and I are starting to write music again.
Okay.
It's our first official announcement.
Oh, nice. Okay. I was going to ask about this because you got reunions. They're big now. And DC Talk was about to do one before COVID hit. And they had done a cruise a couple times and stuff. And so, yeah, that was it. Is like music a thing of the past for you? Or you guys now are like, hey, let's do something else again. This is what we love doing.
Well, the strange thing about this is we, you know, so coming out of Barlow Girl, the only way I can describe it is we dedicated ourselves to become students of health, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Okay. And
I have none of those.
We just wanted to become students of it because students in even how like in ourselves and in outside and I don't know, I just felt like we just became students. We learned under these amazing like doctors and healers and emotional healers and spiritual, and it's like 8 years of like, I know it's weird, like you don't see a lot on Instagram because we dedicated ourselves to
this learning and this undoing and this process of growth.
So I actually had always thought like, okay, God, maybe that was it. You know, maybe that was all I'll ever be on stage or have a platform or ever do music. And I think that was an essential step to go, God, even if that was it, even if that was my only extension of music, you're enough. That was beautiful. Thank you. That was a miracle.
Right.
I can't believe I got to do that with my sisters. Like, who gets to do this?
Right.
And then suddenly we had started a podcast with our cousin Sarah.
Yes.
Which, by the
year.
way, there was speculation on who this Sarah girl is. Yeah, we're like, Sarah Barlow, was this like an adopted sibling? Was it a younger sibling? Was it possibly an alien?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Lauren and I, because we're not married, we adopted someone.
Yes,
we,
okay.
We adopted Sarah Barlow.
That's all we could figure.
She's our 30-something-year-old child.
Yes.
Okay, good.
No, she's our cousin.
She's our cousin. She actually would do a lot. She's a photographer. She did a lot of our photo shoots for the band. She's awesome.
Okay, so you started this podcast with her.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so we would sit there, doing the podcast, and I'd always think, I could write a song about this. And I haven't felt that stirring in really 8 years.
Yeah.
So we just sat down, and the past few months, they're
coming again.
Really?
it's like a faucet turned back on.
And we
That's
haven't
so
written
cool.
in forever.
So we're demoing. We're just demoing in our piano room, our music room, and writing, and that's pretty much what we do now, about 8 to 9 hours a day.
Really? Well, that's cool. I cannot wait to hear some of this, because like every Christmas too, like I have all these Christmas beds, but We Need a Little Christmas by you guys is one of my favorite versions of that. Oh my gosh. I love it. The harmonies are just so tight and beautiful, and I miss you guys. So I'm happy that you guys are going to be doing something again.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting writing, because what we're writing from is this past 8 years, because we knew not only do we go through this season of journeying through healing and wholeness, and we experienced a lot of pain. Yeah. And there's a lot of loss that we went through, and we can't really share the stories. We're not really in the place right now to share, but it's what the songs are all about.
So tell me the stories. See, this is exactly what I do.
Right? And maybe one day, maybe one day we really will dive into it. Right now, they're still a little bit too fresh.
I had a friend of mine, you guys probably know him, Jason Gray. And he went through a divorce, and I remember talking to him, and it got really uncomfortable for a minute too, because he did this hug therapy thing with me, and he's way too tall, so my face was right in his chest, and he held on for way too long. But he was saying that he got advice where from somebody that, because I'm a big person of like, I live my life on the air, good, bad, and different, all of it comes out. And he was like, the advice I got was, you're going through this divorce, you're in the middle of it right now, you can't speak in a healthy version of this right now to actually help people. And his pastor was like, when you're on the other side of this and you've got a different and a healthier perspective, that's when you can share and actually provide some healing and help to people. And I'd never understood that before, because I always thought it was a cop-out to not share anything, because that's how that's my business,
Yeah,
and
of course.
but then it made me realize, that's probably a healthier thing than me just word vomiting,
Well, word vomiting is fun, though.
I mean,
don't
it is.
totally disregard, right?
Uh,
As an extrovert, I love a good word vomit.
I can do it with the best of them. I'm curious, has anyone else in the room here, Betty Rock or Gavin, noticed this? I'm really going to be telling myself here. But the ladies of Barlow, it looks like they're both wearing a same necklace.
Yes, I did, and I wanted to ask them about it. Is it like best friend necklaces or something?
No.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
No,
I am actually wearing one of my favorite people. It's Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
Ah.
There's this great necklace company that makes there was one. I have another one, Harriet Tubman, Joan of Arc. So all of our heroes growing up as young women, where my mom would read us the stories of, our nighttime stories were Joan of Arc, Harriet Tubman, and all those people. Yeah, it's great. And she burned at the stake. Good night, girls.
Yeah, my daughter got Rugrats, so you're still doing better.
So this is company that makes these necklaces. So we wear we just bought some of our heroes. So Joan of Arc.
And
I like that.
mine's a lion because it has gems on it and it's cute.
Yeah, growl. Because I'm I'm a big fan of jewelry because I still wear a lot of jewelry, too much for a 52-year-old man. But I definitely notice that. Here's what I want to do with you guys right now. So I understand that there's things that you are not prepared to share just yet, and we'll get to that. But
There's nothing to get to.
no, we'll get to that. It's fine. I'll get it. You just everyone just sit with me here for a minute. And so I want to do this. I want to do high and low. Okay? This is your high and your low about something. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, okay.
So here's your category, and each of you do one. Your professional high and your professional low.
Ooh, okay. Professional high.
Okay.
We were playing. It was our first show in Amsterdam.
I was gonna say this too.
And I don't know if we've ever shared this, but we get up on stage, and it was this huge festival.
Mhm.
And we walk up on stage. It was probably the second year we were out. And how many people were there?
A lot.
Anyway, probably 40,000, probably 40 or
A
50,000
lot to
people.
thousands.
That's huge.
So we get up on stage, and probably, I kid you not, 2/3 of the crowd just exits.
Oh,
Mad.
that's got to make you feel great.
They saw 3 girls on stage, and they're like,
They wanted
no.
nothing to do with it.
Like, no.
So we start playing, and suddenly you just start to see the mass exodus of the thousands slowly turn around. They come back, and by the third song, they start singing. It actually stopped playing. It was so deafening. They start singing
It's like their soccer chant or whatever they chant for the team
when their
it's
team is winning.
Yeah.
And so they're chanting, like 50,000 people are chanting this song. And I look over at the promoter, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, we couldn't play over the noise.
Right.
And he's like, just wait it out. So we waited it out, and we get off stage, and we're at the signing line. Person by person would come through the signing line and go, we're so sorry. We saw 3 girls walk up on stage, and we just
We
thought,
thought you were just gonna sing.
Oh,
"Bye."
that's
We
so
weren't here for
great.
that.
and they said, when we saw you were playing a rock show,
They're like, we came back.
we
Nice.
came back. And the next time we went to Europe, on the cover of whatever, like essentially what like our TV guide would be or whatever,
Right.
it says, it was our picture. It said, the girls are back.
Oh, that's so great. That is a good high. All right, so now we're going to go to the
It was good.
opposite side. What's the low?
The low,
What?
do I want to share this?
Yes, you do. If you ever say, do I want to share this, and you're talking to me, the answer is automatically yes.
There was a summer, probably third to the last year in Barlow Girl. We didn't know what was going on with me, but I was having really, really bad,
I was thinking health issues were a low too.
Yeah.
like convulsions. Like,
What?
I would go into these. I was actually at Adam Agee's house one night. We were like hanging out with him.
Oh, from
sharing.
Stellar Cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had my worst one. And it was like a seizure, but not. But I couldn't. So the ambulance would have to come, the fire trucks, and they'd take me to the ER. And I would go to the ER. They would check for brain tumors. They would do all these scans. And then the bus would come, pick me up from the ER, and take me to a show. And I'd get up the next morning.
Really?
And it
We had
was
such a healthy mindset of not taking a break.
It was so intense.
I do respect that.
Oh my God.
I had one show because it was summer festival, so it was really, really difficult. But I had a show. I made it through the show, and the stairs that come down
Yeah.
off the stage at the festivals. I collapsed at the top of the stairs, and my sound guy caught me with my bass because I would just have these episodes where suddenly my body would just go numb, and I couldn't call for help, nothing, or I'd go and have. So it was really intense.
That's
so
Like,
rock and roll.
I'm fine.
She is alive.
Hence the health, but it was a really intense. It was a hard low for me to push through that and keep a smile on my face and keep doing shows when I was really worried with. I didn't know. Like I said, they thought I had a brain tumor. Like, we didn't know what was going on.
Did they figure it out?
Yeah, it was pretty much just
Your body was completely
was-
depleted of all nutrients.
because we had been touring so hard for so many years. It was like my body would just. I'd be in the middle of recording, and someone would walk in, and I'd be hunched over the soundboard because I couldn't call for help.
Oh my
Oh,
word.
wow.
They'd pick me up and carry me
Such
to like a doctor.
dramatic story.
Yeah. So, but they found out I'm doing great. Like,
Yes.
I'm doing amazing. But it took years to heal.
They figured out just how to prop her up in a corner.
I did. I would just I'd move her mouth.
She'll be fine.
She's fine, guys.
Get her back on
My God,
stage.
our sound guys play the
Right.
bass behind me on
I'm like,
stage.
the show must go on. Let's go.
Propped up.
Oh my word.
my high was a little bit different. I thought our first time we played the Dove Awards.
Oh,
Which was
okay.
also kind of a low at first too, because we had to play it. We were like the only artists in the industry that's ever had to play their song back to back, from what I've heard.
Yes,
back to back, because none of the sound wasn't working the first time we played, and we were terrified. And so it's like our first time at the Dove Awards.
we didn't hear our vocals. We didn't hear our
hear
instruments.
anything.
We had to listen to the speakers in the house.
And as a drummer, that's like horrible.
Yeah.
To be able to
String
hear.
section next to you.
And so we couldn't hear. It was really like, I was like, oh my gosh, it was horrible, which was kind of the low. And then they're like, you got to play this again. You got to do all of it again. And so it was awesome because it worked well and everybody was really kind and nice.
But it was terrifying. It was our first year. You have like Toby Mac sitting in the front.
Mhm.
Like all these people are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it was good. So that was a high.
All right, so now we're going to dive into personal high and low, okay? And this is where you can be revealing. You can talk about some of the things you didn't want to talk about. You're in a safe place. You're in a safe place. It's just old Uncle Wally. Sounded creepy.
It did.
I get it.
I didn't like
I get
that.
it.
I don't know.
Yeah, that got real creepy real fast.
Well, we can't hear you anymore. It's got it.
That's on me. I'll own that one.
Okay, personal high for me is Lauren and I have gotten to do a lot of travel in these last 8 years to like some really like dream places.
Yes.
I love that.
Just for fun, like just falling in love. Falling in love with like the world again. Like we traveled so much for Barlow Girl, but you pretty much saw the world through the inside of a bus or a hotel room or a venue. Like you didn't just get to, like it was just too fast paced. We didn't have time. So traveling as the amount we have has been.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's
and all
awesome.
of when we travel, these are my personal highs. I make Lissa do like animal experiences.
Yes.
So, like, we went to Thailand
Yes.
and the two of us. And I was like, listen, there's this like trek you can do with elephants.
Yes.
For 8 hours.
Yes.
She's like, no. Lissa's like, I'll pet your dog, but other than that, we're not doing anything. I'm like, we're gonna go walk with elephants for 8 hours.
8 hours we're walking with elephants through like the jungles of Thailand.
It was the most magical experience of my life.
It was magical.
So that was amazing.
I would absolutely do that with you. Like animal encounters are the greatest.
I know.
Yeah. I remember my daughter, we did a dolphin encounter where you hold on to its fin and she was 13 years old and it drags her across the pool, turns around, comes back and I'm like, how was it? She goes, that was amazing. I lost my pants. That was amazing.
It was amazing. We did that. You had us
for
do
my
that.
21st birthday. I made all of us go and swim with the dolphins.
Love
and
it.
I think the next one you said we're doing is the plankton, the bioluminescent plankton?
I have to do that.
Oh, that'd be
That's not really
cool.
neat, but I want to do that.
That'd be
Also,
kinda
like in
cool.
Sri Lanka, I feel like you can like swim with like blue whales or something. So I'll probably.
In Sri Lanka, you can swim with anything. They're like,
Right.
yeah, if it's in there, we'll harness it and you can swim with it.
Perfect. And I'll go to
Yeah.
there.
All right. What about low? Personal low.
Personal low. Stuff we will not expound on, but for me, there's been a lot of sadness. In the past few years, just relationally and connection wise with stuff. And I didn't know I could feel this much pain and still survive and connect with God at a deeper level and learn what I've been learning. And it's been very painful, but
yeah, I would agree with Lauren, and I know it's so like cryptic, but I want to be.
Well, I'm going to uncryptic that for you real quick. So let me ask you this. A follow-up question. You say relationally and things like that. So obviously we've covered, okay, you're not married, but does that mean you haven't dated anybody, or did you have relationships that fell apart in between Barlow Girl and now?
It has nothing to do with men.
Okay.
It was just people that we know, and it's like when you feel safe with people and different things, and then just a lot of I've never known this level of rejection.
Really? Okay, that's interesting.
I mean, it's been excruciating.
Okay.
And there were 3 years in there that because of the pain I didn't sleep. I mean, they did again take me to multiple doctors, because when you go through that level of loss and that amount of people, losing that many people over the course of just a year, it's terrifying, and you get angry at God, and your physical life takes a toll, and again, I think, you take those years 1 minute at a time.
Sure.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
And you go 1 minute, I go, okay, God, I yield to you to heal my heart. And then the next minute you do it again. And I look at these years and go, I got through it 1 minute at a time.
That's sometimes like with forgiveness, like people say, well, just forgive and forget, or forgive and move on. Like it's a daily thing sometimes, because 1 minute you're really good with it, and the next minute something will come up and it instantly brings it all back. And you have to re-surrender that time and time and time again.
And what's hard too about that is when life throws that level of pain and sorrow, it's so easy to believe we're victims.
Yeah.
And to go, okay, well, I'm going to judge in return, and I'm going to be angry, and I'm going to hold unforgiveness. And we would always just feel this tug on our hearts from God to go, but what if you blessed those who have cursed you?
Yeah, that's hard.
What if you love? What if you forgive? And you'd go, I can't. And it's going, what if you give me 1 minute and I'll teach you? And then another minute and I'll teach you. And it was this surrender to how do you stay powerful in God in a moment of great despair and loss.
Yeah.
Well, and it's been a journey. Yeah. It's been a journey.
Well, I have enjoyed this catch up very much. And so what we've learned is the ladies of Barlow will be working on new music. So very exciting to have that. And I would be remiss if I didn't get an update on Becca, who is not with you guys on this interview. But I know there are people that are like, well, you talked all this time and you didn't even bring up Becca. So what is her deal? Where's she at? California.
Yeah, she's in California. Becca is the introvert. Laura and I are extroverts all the way.
Yes.
So
Becca's the token introvert. So what you see on Becca's Instagram is what she wants the world to know.
Gotcha.
Right. So she's married. And she's
married in
happily
California.
married. She lives in California. She's lived out in California for the past few years.
Yeah.
Her dream was always to take her Mustang convertible and go by the beach. And she just loves her life out there. She loves the ocean. She loves her community. And she's just really happy living her dreams out in California.
Okay.
So
the rumor I started was that she married a Navy SEAL and lives in San Diego. Am I close?
That's a good rumor.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was the one I started.
Actually, could you start that rumor about me? I would not mind.
Me too. You can throw me in there.
You know what? You guys need a Navy SEAL. I'm connected. I can find you a couple.
All right.
Or at least a harbor seal. I can find you a harbor seal because you like animal encounters. So.
You know what? Honestly, either way, I will be so excited.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
It seems like y'all are really close. You're sisters, and I know, I'm an only child, so I don't know what it's like to have a sibling, but it seems like y'all get along very well. And to be working with someone, and then, you see them every day. What is it like? I mean, you seem like you're each other's best friends. Is that the truth? And then maybe tell us what's something we don't know about each other.
Ooh, okay.
So the best friends thing, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I actually joke that we are kind of each other's soulmates.
That's cool.
We have a different connection. People are like, listen, we always have. Just because she's directly above me in age. But there is, I couldn't imagine doing life with anybody else other than this.
We've always still lived together. We've never not lived together.
Yeah. We love each other.
Yeah. So, and you know what? It takes work though. It's not just it's all sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows all the time. We got to work because we're so different. The way my dad would always describe us three girls is we're like three corners of a triangle. We are all so different. And it's we have to work on our relationship. It does not come for free.
No.
So, but we are best friends.
Yes.
Okay. I love that. Okay. So what is something, Alyssa, that we would not know about Lauren?
Oh, God.
I want to say it, but you're
Yes, you
Say
do.
it, say
You're
it,
fine.
say it, say it.
Safe place.
I'm going to be so angry.
Wait.
Safe place. Oh, come on.
You can say it.
This
No,
is-
I'm not ready for it.
Why?
What is it?
Okay, she does good impersonations.
No, 'cause now
Of
I'm
what?
mad.
I love this. Because we're going to do this. What is it?
Melissa, this
What
is
is
gonna
it?
be the most humiliating moment of my life.
She's not gonna do it though.
Yes,
I
she
won't.
is.
Come on.
No, she can't do it on the spot.
I can't. I have to be ready.
Who
and,
is it?
Ready for it.
She does a really good Russell Crowe
But
impersonation.
specifically Russell Crowe from Les Mis.
And I'm Javert.
See, oh, yeah, I love Les Mis. Are you kidding me? Oh,
She
he
can
was
actually-
Javert.
Yeah, she can actually kind of make like, she does a weird, like
I'm not
sometimes
doing it though. I can't. I won't do it.
it's good.
I bet you
Good.
could.
But I can't.
Come
Because
on.
it takes me a minute to like get that voice, and he's like, "Stars," or whatever.
Yeah, you're good. You're so there. You're right on the
No, but
edge.
it's like, it comes through, and it's like, out in the darkness.
See?
Like that.
Yeah, I love it.
That's all you're
See?
getting.
All right. Well, that was worth it. That was worth it.
Okay, what do we not know about Alyssa?
Okay, Lissa is something that's impressive about you that's not a Russell Crowe impersonation. I would say that you're an amazing teacher. Like, I don't know if people know that about you. Lissa's an amazing, like,
I will pay
music
you
teacher,
later.
Yeah.
vocal teacher. She's just, like, so impressive, and she's just a really good teacher.
Well, now I feel bad that I said you're Russell Crowe impersonation.
Well,
What
no.
else am I? You're a good driver. You get hurt a lot. Like, what am I gonna say?
All of those are good.
Actually, one thing you wouldn't know about me is I'm incredibly clumsy.
I was
Really?
going to say tiny.
Oh,
She's also very small.
no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can
I'm
see
like
that.
Thumbelina. I'm standing on a table right
She
now.
is listening to it hurt more than anybody I've ever met.
But I always have since I was little. Like, I'm weirdly clumsy.
What's your most recent incident?
Oh, we were cleaning off some shelves, and I was like, it had like this stack of these books, and I was like, oh, I don't need to take the books off. I'm just gonna like fix the I don't know, the shelf was like slanted. So I yanked as hard as I could, and I broke all the tips of my fingers from the books smashing upon my fingers. And I had to
nice.
wear no, she
should.
laughs at all my injuries, and I had to wear like finger casts on all my fingers. For, like, what? This
That's-
is just like
That's an odd injury to have, one that's tough to explain, and Lord help you if you have to get something out of your nose, you're hosed. So
That's what I'm here for.
come on.
Soulmates.
that's
Soulmate.
love. That's love. Well, there you go. The ladies
Better or worse?
of Barlow Girl, Alyssa and Lauren. Guys, thank you so much for spending the time with us and clearing up all the rumors that I started.